So, director Steven Kostansky brought us movies like The Void and Leprechaun Origins. Now he brings us this beautiful disaster, Psycho Goreman. You can't even... Psycho Goreman, which... Okay, so this came about... I saw the trailer. Drum Dums was doing a live stream months ago with Sinister Cinema Reviews, and we're talking about upcoming horror movies for this year, and one of them they talked about was Psycho Goreman, and they watched the trailer. So as soon as I saw this trailer, I'm like, this looks like Star Kid / Power Rangers in a horror movie. And it kind of has a similar plot, only I'm very mixed on this film because I was very excited to watch this. I did half a month of April Fool's month because I just can't. Next year, I'm going to do things differently with April Fool's month and how I do my April Fool's month reviews. But I'm pretty much done with those, except for I'm going to do my top 25 favorite comedies at some point in the month, maybe the end of the month, who knows. So I really went, if you didn't notice, because I started doing other reviews like James Bond and stuff like that. But so I finally decided today I'm going to watch Psycho Goreman. And, yeah, I'm mixed on this. Ooh, look at the shiny. Look at the shiny. I'm very mixed on this movie. The story is that two siblings, one, a bright little bitch of a girl, and her brother, her name is Mimi, her brother's name is Luke. They're playing some game called Crazy Ball. I don't understand the game. But Luke loses, I guess, and he has to dig a hole. Maybe his grave? I don't know. While digging, they find this jewel. The jewel belongs to what is described as the... What was it called? Is it saying it back? It's an ancient alien known as the Archduke of Pain or something like that. Archduke of Death or something like that. And they come across it and it wants the jewel back. Its sole purpose is to destroy the earth. Okay, so I saw this and my thought is, okay, this is what's going to happen. He's going to be evil at first. He's going to, hang out with these kids and realize that humans are worth saving. And in the end, he's going to be the hero. And, well, that's one of the problems I have with this film. The ending, which we'll get to. The villains are very much Power Ranger-like. They're even dubbed, and their lips don't match their voices. It very much reminded me of Power Rangers. Very much. Even the lead villain, and until she, smushed something and blood came out, she smushed it on her face. It was really weird. I was like, ew, cool. Because the gore, they don't shy away from the gore in this, and it's ridiculous gore. There's just one thing where the cops... Okay, so... What's the point of having a disguise if it's not going to work? The Ninja Turtles can walk around with friggin' trench coats and fedoras and not get noticed. But this dude dressed like a cowboy and the cops are... I mean, come on. So... Yeah. Mimi has a crush on this kid named Alistair. Or Alistair, whatever. But Alistair wants to play video games with the brother. So she summons Psycho Goreman to play games with her. And then he turns Alistair into a little brain monster, and that never gets reversed, and his parents just accept it, because they show a thing at the end where he gets called to dinner, and they just accept it, I guess. Also, the parents in this film are terrible. They're arguing constantly about their own problems. The dad, at first, I thought was Bob Odenkirk. but it's not. It looks like him though. I could have sworn it was him, but it's not. Uh, yeah. I think the parents are another kind of. I don't understand that they have problems with each other. Sure. Like she calls him lazy. He he goes in to fill the hole that they dig, and he breaks his hand. I thought he was acting, so he didn't have to do it. And later she calls him lazy later in the film, but he actually broke his hand. How? And then he's like, "Oh, I'm taking time off for my hand." And was he faking it? They never make it clear. He's taking 2 weeks off, and so she's got to take a double shift, and then he's got a new TV. Which, when does this take place? Because all their TVs are old style televisions. Is this in the 80s, the 90s? When does this take place? I mean, he's got a big, like an early 2000s big screen, like a box type thing. When does this take place? I don't get it. Psycho Goreman wants the gem. Mimi is going to control him because she has the gem. Which they never explain because the gem isn't actually connected to him. He found it. How does that control him? Because he connected it to himself? Is that how it controls him? They don't specify. So the parents find out about Psycho Goreman because he's standing outside, and like, I guess I don't get the jokes. They do a music video thing with the brain playing the keyboards, and Psycho Goreman's playing the drums, and music's good. Frig off. What is this rated? What is this rated? Because they're saying things like ass and stuff like that and help. Is it PG-13? It says not rated. So, I don't know. I really don't know. It says not rated. So I don't know what it's supposed to be. But frig off. Frig yourself. We get to this scene where he's just like a cowboy. 2 cops show up. And I'm like, what's the point of having him in disguise if people are going to find him out? It makes no sense to me. What are these decisions in this movie? What's the point of why not just have him out there? Why write this scene? All right, apparently Kostansky wrote this whole film himself. So Kostansky, I'm asking you, why write him in a disguise if you're just gonna have it not work? Why not just have him out there as himself? Why does he have to be dressed up like a cowboy, a farmer, whatever? Why? It makes no sense. No sense. And then he turns this one cop into a zombie weird thing that doesn't talk. That's all he does, and he just wants to die, which eventually he does. He summons his servants, and they turned on him because they like ruling their own, so he kills them. But there is a whole scene with like, he tells his servants to kill the kids, and then like because he did that, the bratty little bitch girl won't let him fight, and so he gets his ass kicked. If you haven't figured it out, I hate Mimi. I hate this character. She's terribly written. She's all full of herself, and she's the worst character in this movie. It's just, every time she spoke, I wanted to drive a fork through my eyeball. There are times where, so he's trying to explain his backstory. He goes through and explains his backstory, and she's like, oh, that was boring. I'm like, and then he tries to explain it again, and she just interrupts him, and we don't find out anything else. He tries to explain something else, like his enemies or something, and she interrupts him. Oh, hey! And then she just goes on with whatever she was saying, and we don't go back to that. And we don't really know much about the Psycho Goreman, or whatever his name is. Names don't matter. Let's get to the climax. There's this villain. Her name is Pandora. She disguises herself as a human so she can track down Psycho Goreman, which she does, and she turns the mom. At this point, the mom and dad are arguing, and they're against each other. And the dad chooses the daughter, but the brother, for some reason, chooses to stay behind, and he steals the gem. I feel like this wasn't needed. The kids should have been on the same level. There was really nothing that indicated they should be against each other. I know he had the dream where he doesn't want her to have the gem, but I feel like at this point they should have been on the same side. They know that this girl is evil and wants to maybe more than just destroy Psycho Goreman. It just doesn't make sense to me. She turns the mom into some creature, and they all show up, and they have a match of Crazy Ball, which I rolled my eyes. I'm like, really? Why? Why? I don't get this game. Why do I want to see it again? It's just, oh man. This climax is stupid. So he needs the gem to give his power back. Because he's weakened because she let those guys beat his ass. Her fault that he's weakened. And she's like, oh, why you weak? You worthless. I'm just like, you did this. You did this. It's your fault because you wouldn't let him kill them at first. She does eventually, but it's her fault. Eventually, the mom defends her kids, and the brother and the sister make things up. But so the girl makes a deal. Hey, I'll let you fuse with the gem if you don't kill my family. And he's like, deal. And then she hands him the jewel, and Dad's like, what about the rest of the people on Earth? And she's like, oops. I'm like, no oops. Especially after what happens. See, he gets the jewel, he gets the power back, and he kills this bitch. Not the girl, the Pandora. He kills her, and then he gives the jewel back to the girl, and she just lets him run off and start destroying the world. Bitch, you have the gem. It controls him. Say, stop. Don't kill anyone. My biggest problem is that by the end of this film, he should have realized, he even realizes the value of love. That should have turned him. And he should have realized he's not going to destroy the earth and instead defend it. That's how it should have ended. Not him going off and destroying the world. It makes no fucking sense. It makes no sense. He makes his whole speech about how now he understands the power of love and all that stuff. Burr, burr, donate money. No, he understands the meaning of love now. But then he's just going to go off and destroy the world. That makes no sense. Then there's a scene in the mid credits where the rest of the villains want to kill each other with a little revolver. There are some good things about this movie, but it was not what I expected. I was hoping for so much more with this. Really, going into this, I was expecting it to be, this thing's world destroyed by the end. He's going to defend the earth because, it would make sense. That would make too much sense, though, so we got to make sense. But I didn't hate it. I actually kind of enjoyed it. The ending rubbed me the wrong way. So, because it's decent, I'm going to give it a 5. Right in the middle. I think it's decent, but there was a lot I didn't like about it. So, a 5 out of 10. It's not as good as I thought it was going to be, unfortunately. So, 5 out of 10. So what are your thoughts on Psycho Goreman? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.